And now, Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio.
When I pop the trunk, head the deck. Y'all pop the trunk, I pop the hood.
Now act stupid, I'll pop the trunk. Now give me your boom.
He is Jalen Rose.
What up, Del?
I am David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in, center stage on the mic.
And we putting it on wax.
We're Jalen and Jacoby. What do we do?
Get to find individuals that have supported this program consistently over 6 years, exactly what they want, when they need it. Whether radio, podcast, television, 2 in the afternoon, or 2 a.m.
Journalist Taylor Rooks was interviewing J.R. Smith and asked J.R. Smith about Hoodie Mello. J.R. Smith said this about Hoodie Mello, quote, Hoodie Mello doesn't play with a conscience. Regular Mello has a guard up. Both great, but I like Hoodie Mello. Could Hoodie Mello pass the ball less than regular Mello does? Like, what do you mean play without a conscience? Is regular Mello out there playing defense and, like, moving the ball around? Like, not exactly.
He was strictly talking about offense.
He's talking about not waiving the no-trade clause. Hoodie Mello's like, I'm not waiving the no-trade clause. That's why I got this hood on. I can't hear any of you. What do you think about Hoodie Mello?
I'm not mad at it. It's like you just alluded to. I see it as an alter ego, something that he's doing to keep himself focused. You know, he's endured a lot personally and professionally, but still, he holds the cards with the no-trade clause.
Definitely. I'm a sweaty guy. I couldn't wear a hood like that. It would just be drenched. It would be uncomfortable. It would be sticking to my face. It just wouldn't work.
Well, the one thing you don't do clearly when you're wearing a hood is play defense.
That's right. Yeah, you can't even see peripherals. Nothing. You're not passing. You're not, Magic Johnson wouldn't wear a hoodie.
You're not passing and you're not playing D.
Mello doesn't need his peripheral vision when he plays basketball. Basket's in front of me, ball's in my hands. That's all I need to know. Obviously, it seems like NFL Players Association Executive Director DeMaurice Smith is a big fan of the Jalen and Jacoby program because he has now come out and said that it is inevitable, it is definitely going to happen, that there will be a lockout, a cease of NFL games when the current CBA is up in 2021. Jalen Rose, you have been saying this for literally years now. Why is it so important to you?
Hit the brakes.
Okay.
We had Richard Sherman join our show briefly during the ESPYs. I said the exact same thing to him I'm going to say right now. I'm as big of a football fan as there is. I support the shield, the red, white, and blue shield, by the way, that resembles of an American flag. However, for NFL players to truly take advantage of their platform and maximize the opportunity to get optimum dollars for the owners, the best way to do it ain't waiting to 2021.
See, that's the thing. It's like he's negotiating. He's negotiating now in 2017 saying, oh, in 4 years we're going to strike. You guys better watch out. And it's like, okay.
I got a news flash for you. The average player in the NFL, which constitutes 60% of the league, they won't be in the league in 4 years.
That's a good point.
That's too long. You want to make a statement? You really want to make a statement? When week 1 starts, we good.
Yeah, forget the national anthem. We're just not even going to be there. Forget whether we're sitting down or standing up or kneeling or whatever. We just will not be there. Most of the points of contention during this deal are guaranteed money, player discipline, the power of the commissioner, and player safety. Which of those do you think is most important to the players?
Guaranteed money.
Guaranteed money. They're like, you know what, the safety stuff, the power of the commissioner, discipline, that's all very important, but we need this guaranteed money. Yeah. Because as you mentioned, in 4 years, a lot of the players in the NFL will not be around to reap the benefits of the new CBA.
And here's the domino effect. You said the second thing was about discipline. Well, if I'm getting more bread, then I can figure out a way to pay the fines. Okay, the power of the commissioner, it doesn't look as bad when my money's guaranteed.
I like this. You're saying not only should NFL players strike, they shouldn't wait until 2021 to do it.
Just think about the power that they have right now. It becomes an uproar for people whether they decide to do an individual protest that's peaceful, that's passive during the national anthem. Imagine if they decided 1,300 strong, we not playing this Sunday.
I would love to see it. I doubt that we will see it. However, I definitely think we will see a lockout in 2021 as they are already negotiating it.
Too long.
Moving on, as we get closer and closer to the big fight, some more details are coming out. I don't care about the weight of the gloves as much as I care about who is going to be in attendance. We've got a partial list, courtesy of TMZ. Angelina Jolie will be there. Drake will be there. Diddy will be there. Mark Wahlberg. Denzel, not Denzel Crumb. Denzel Washington. LL Cool J. Jamie Foxx. LeBron. Bob Kraft. Rick Ross. Elon Musk. And Charlize Theron. Jalen Rose, are you sure you're not going to this fight?
It's tough. A game time decision at this point.
More importantly, do you know who Elon Musk is?
I don't, but I know what Musk is.
Do you know who Charlize Theron is?
An actress.
Good call. We also have this. We've got Bryn Jonathan Butler, who's a boxing writer for Sporting Life, and he had this interesting quote. You know, nothing crazy, nothing that no one else has thought, but he verbalized it very well. Quote, "It's more likely that Mayweather has a heart attack on the way to the fight than it is for him to lose to McGregor." Well, this got me and the staff thinking, Jalen. What things could possibly happen that would keep Floyd Mayweather from winning this fight?
I don't like the thought of thinking of catastrophic things that may happen.
Oh, I love doing that.
I don't like to put that in the atmosphere. You clearly do.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to give any examples. Once Floyd gets into that ring, he's going to mass produce the Harriet Tubman 20s,
okay,
and he's going to beat Conor McGregor easily.
We know that. Now, this is an interesting detail that came out about Floyd's preparation for this fight. You know, he works very hard in training camps, but he put out an Instagram post today inviting everyone to his club and said that he will be partying every single day the week before the fight. Could too much champagne and campaign keep Floyd Mayweather from winning the fight?
No.
He might be campaigning, but he won't be champagning. That's the difference. And also, the optics may look like he's getting it in, but all he's doing is raking it in. The money. He's going to go, shake hands, kiss baby, show his face, and then you know what he's going to do? He's going to walk right out the back door and go run for 10 miles.
Yeah.
What about this? What if someone else fights for Conor McGregor? What if there's a Conor McGregor imposter, someone in a Conor McGregor mask? Could that keep Floyd Mayweather from winning the fight?
No, because 49 people have fought Floyd Mayweather in the ring, and he's beaten all of them.
It's a good point. What if Mayweather wins the $510 million Powerball before the fight and decides he doesn't need the money?
No, he gonna get both. Money Mayweather.
Well, the only thing I could possibly see really stopping Floyd Mayweather from beating Conor McGregor, just nuclear annihilation. You know what I mean? Just we all get vaporized. You know, that's the only way I could possibly see this happening.
Well, with our current regime,
the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy is having its annual auction from now until August 31st. If you go to jrla.gesture.com to check out all the unique sports memorabilia and amazing experiences that you can bid on, it will be open from now until August 31st. Jalen Rose, what are some of those amazing experiences?
First and foremost, I want to thank people such as yourself that dedicate their time, their energy, their money to help support the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy.
No doubt.
We're a tuition-free public charter high school that gets zero state funding for its facilities. So it's paramount that we fundraise. So I'm truly grateful. I'm truly honored that we have so many great experiences when you go to JRLADetroit.com. Great vacations, great memorabilia, in particular, signed jersey by Magic Johnson.
You can go to Kimmel.
Derek Jeter, signed helmet. Experiences, as you mentioned.
Coming to Jalen and Jacoby would be one of those.
No
Give
question.
the people what
NBA
they want.
Countdown, the ESPYs. Lunch at the ESPN campus with the talented Molly Kiram.
Nice.
I'm really excited about this year's auction, our golf outing, and our gala which takes place August 28th and 29th. We're really excited and appreciate everybody's support.
Go to JRLA.gesture, GESTURE.com, and check that all out.
Daddy, where do babies come from?
Honey?
Mommy went to the store.
Oh, well, you see, there's a mommy and a daddy, right?
Right.
And see, when they call Geico, they could save a bunch of money on car insurance.
Oh, really? And that makes them happy?
Yes, that makes them very happy.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we could have this talk, Sunshine.
Geico, because saving 15% or more on car insurance is always a great answer.
So now we have this. Malcolm Jenkins was not kneeling or sitting during the national anthem, but he did have his fist raised in the air, and alongside of him was Chris Long, who said this about the gesture, quote, "I am here to show support as a white athlete." To you, what is the significance of this gesture from Long?
The significance is so many times when people have a cause that's near and dear to them and or people that have been oppressed in one way, shape, or form, a lot of times when you get a chance to hear them talk about their plight, it becomes white noise for so many people. But when somebody else actually joins in, that in this case doesn't look like them, now all of a sudden you have to pay a lot more attention, because that's truly how we get to the end goal. It's one thing for a certain race or religion or creed to talk about their plight. It's for other people to also join in and support that allows us, A, the solidarity to work together, and or B, it furthers the commentary and or the opportunity for us to get a resolution. So I truly appreciate him doing that. Let's see if other people follow suit.
I appreciate him doing it as well, because he's also was very articulate about it afterwards, knowing that he was going to be asked about it. He said, look, like I'm on wax saying how I feel about the national anthem and how that's important to me and why, but that doesn't mean I cannot support my brothers. That doesn't mean that I cannot support someone else who is, protest isn't the right word, who is sort of just making an example and drawing attention to some of the injustice in our land. I really appreciate that from Chris Long. I encourage everyone to go see and read what he said about it afterwards. Quick pivot to this. LeBron James, Kyrie Irving have been the talk of the offseason and the future collapse of the Cleveland Cavaliers that have been to the finals for 3 straight years. Just like every other team, they've got new jerseys, the new Nike jerseys. So LeBron James posted a photo of him in the new Nike jerseys. Easy question for you, Jalen Rose. Does he seem happy?
He's more enthusiastic in his workout videos, flexing a lot more.
He doesn't like wearing shirts during the offseason. We know that. But if you look at him, he's not really smiling, and he's got his arms up, but he's not really flexing. Like, it just seems like, you know, before you post something on social media, you look at it yourself. You say, do I need another take of this? Should we do another one? Did he post that sort of subversively, intentionally, not seeming that happy to be in the uniform?
No, here's what took place.
What happened?
And I want to quote Chris Rock here. Shaq is rich. Mm-hmm. The person that writes his check is wealthy. And what took place here is, wait a minute, LeBron may be gone at the end of this year? Hold on. Kyrie possibly want to get traded? Are they both still under contract right now? Got it. We about to put these new jerseys out right now and make this bread.
But does he seem excited about the season when you look at this picture?
That's my point. It wasn't him that initiated the fact that, you know what, I'm enthusiastic. Let's get some new uniforms. That came from team issue, from ownership, from the league.
And from Nike. You know, he has a Nike rep that called up and said, oh, LeBron, we want you to wear the new Nike jersey. And he was like, nah. And then the Nike guy had to call his boss. And his boss had to call LeBron and be like, LeBron, you have to do this.
Hit the brakes. Hit the brakes. And this is how it works in corporate America, everybody. Kyrie's picture's coming soon to a theater near you.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think we're going to see Kyrie in that Cleveland jersey. Someone tells me Dan Gilbert's going to get the information. He's going to be like, nope, not going to be able to do it.
Wait till training camp start.
Oh, I can't wait. We'll see. We'll see if he's even on the Cleveland Cavaliers in training camp. You know what I would do if I was the Cavs? I would keep him the entire year. Just keep both of them the entire year just to see what happens. We'll go back to the finals. No big deal. Finally, you are not in the National Basketball Hall of Fame, nor will you ever be. But thankfully, for the people that run Hoops Nation's Instagram account, you have been immortalized. They posted this post saying the most immortal hairline in the game, and included 4 pictures of you, Jalen Rose, and that crispy 90-degree angle that is on your head. What is your reaction to this sort of appreciation?
A couple of things I don't take credit for and will never try. First and foremost, the name Jalen. I had zero to do with it.
Yeah, you weren't even conscious when that was created.
Was born on a concrete in the middle of January. It was freezing outside. My biological father wasn't there. My Uncle Leonard took my mother to the hospital.
You better take credit for your hairline because you've spent over $1 million on that thing.
She put the 2 names together. Thus, Jalen's become a common name. The second one, I've looked at some pictures of my biological father. I think that's where I got it from.
Oh,
he had the crispy hairline also.
Oh, no, Jalen. You know what this means? You got to have a son. As we head into the NBA season, might feel far away, but it's not. Starts a little earlier this year. We're going to take some time just to look at some teams and see what they did during the offseason. One of the most volatile teams during this offseason was right here in our backyard, the Los Angeles Clippers. Now Jalen Rose. Obviously, they lost future Hall of Famer Chris Paul. But they did make some improvements otherwise. Do you think the Clippers got better?
They added a Kardashian.
They did. Kendall Jenner is now part of the roster, apparently. Blake Griffin's been hanging out with her for a couple weeks.
And the thing I appreciate is that wasn't up for public consumption until he signed his contract. I'm just saying.
Yeah, if you
had to
signed
make sure the ink was dry.
$150, $70 million.
Had to make sure he's getting that bread
the
first.
Jenners are around. We also don't know if they're actually dating, though. It's not fair to him to, they went out to dinner twice. They could have mutual friends in common.
And so that makes sense to why Chris Paul was like, I'm out of here. I will say this, however. The term volatile applies because you lose your starting backcourt. J.J. Redick was also a part of that.
Yep, no J.J. Redick, no CP3.
You lose your best 6 man in Jamal Crawford.
No Jamal Crawford.
You add Danilo Gallinari, who I like as a forward. I've always liked his game. I think he's actually going to play a lot better than people really realize.
Yeah, I haven't always liked his game, but when he's hot, he's really hot. He does have some injury problems. He had a back thing, but when he's scoring, he can score.
I'm a fan of their front court. Gallinari, Blake, and DeAndre, they're going to be a problem for people.
That's not bad.
I like that a lot.
It makes him pretty big, too. Gallinari's pretty big to be playing at the 3.
Absolutely. I like that part of their team. I think Austin Rivers is going to have an opportunity as a starting shooting guard to make plays.
And Patrick Beverly.
And I give him props for being better than a lot of people, including myself, thought he would be in the league. Because before he got traded to play under his dad, he was on his way out of the league. So for a team that performs in the Western Conference, I wouldn't be surprised if they still are in contention for a playoff spot.
Oh, I'm
to the chagrin
I'm putting them in the playoffs.
of a lot of people.
Oh, I think they're definitely in the playoffs.
When you talk about the Western Conference, people overlook their squad.
Yes.
But I think they're going to be a lot more productive than people realize.
Absolutely. This team is, I'm going to say this team is a playoff team, barring some crazy injuries. And also, yes, you lost CP3, but they didn't just lose CP3. They traded CP3. You mentioned Patrick Beverly to pick him up. Great defensive stopper. But don't sleep on Lou Williams. He could get those Jamal Crawford minutes. He could get some buckets just like Jamal Crawford did in the second unit. And Sam Decker. He doesn't get the national headlines because he was hurt at the end of the year. But when he was playing, he was good. Sam Decker can hit threes and he can slash a little bit. They got Harold to give him some size. One person on this roster that I'm just going to say sort of like fantasy style is a sleeper, Bryce Johnson. Everyone remembers Bryce Johnson from 2 years ago in North Carolina. He certainly seemed like he had an NBA game and a body that would catch up to be like an NBA type of body. He spent last year as a red shirt. You know what I mean? Sort of like that Ben Simmons gets injured, spent the entire year in a suit, sitting behind the bench. But I really liked his game in college, and he's sort of fallen off the NBA radar. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was playing some minutes as we got towards the middle of the season for this team.
And they got one of the best and longest tenured head coaches with a championship pedigree in Doc Rivers.
Yep,
I wonder two things. We already talked about LeBron petitioning the NBA to wear a do-rag during games.
Mm-hmm.
Since Glenn is a little bit older, I want him to petition the league to wear a stocking cap.
Stocking cap? He kind of already is if you look at his hair. You know what I mean? I've never really understood this. There's a 1 clip, there's like a half clip, there's a 0 clip. I don't know what he's got. He's got like a -1. Like I don't know what he is perpetrating up there.
And
but
I need him to go.
It's consistent though. Like I'm losing my hair. Doc, I don't know what happened, but it's always been consistent that like 3 days after you like plant the chia pet head. You know what I mean?
No question. And I need him to really be OG with it. Like the pantyhose just got cut, pulled on the top of his head with the ball on top.
With the knot on top. But there's also this from this team is they got Jerry West. A lot of additions. You know, they got Kendall Jenner, and they got Milos, and they got Beverly and Decker. A lot of new faces. But let's not sleep on Jerry West, because you know Jerry West showed up. He had a meeting with Steve Ballmer, and he's like, listen, we're not going to have the head coach be the GM anymore. He's like that, I don't get down like that. So if you're going to have me here, you know what's not going to happen? Glenn Doc Rivers making every decision on personnel, every decision on strategy on the court. Because next thing you know, you got Austin Rivers on your team in a big contract. So here's what I'm going to do. Remember Frank Lawrence from the Nets, who's been your assistant coach for a long time? We're going to make him the general manager. They still work. They've got good working relationship with Doc, but we're going to have 2 different people handle those 2 different responsibilities. And Steve Ballmer's like, whatever, you're the logo. How much? You know, it's like you're going to have to give Frank a bump, but besides that, we're fine.
And I ain't mad at Lawrence Frank, who the last time he was
Frank
standing
Lawrence,
on the sideline as a head coach was 0-16 and was ceremoniously let go so he wouldn't break the record of 0-17 to start a season.
He did have some good seasons with the Nets, though. Like some of the most memorable Nets seasons, he was at the helm.
Hit the brakes.
What? Those were very memorable Nets seasons.
The most memorable.
Hold
on,
Van
don't
Horn.
cut me off. Don't cut me off. The most memorable Nets seasons, Byron Scott was the coach.
Okay.
He was the one that took him to the NBA Finals in back-to-back seasons.
That's fine. I really like Keith Van Horn. That's why these are memorable seasons for me, okay? The socks pulled up. No one else can pull up their socks like Keith Van Horn.
And he's one of the reasons why I never retired. People forget that Portland brought him a part of a deal, gave him a check.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, like you're on the team for 20 minutes. You don't even have to get on the flight.
I'm like,
I think
when I
Jose
saw that, I'm like,
Calderon
I ain't
had that last year for the Warriors, didn't he? Like, does Jose Calderon, does he get a ring? I think it was Calderon. Does he get a ring for that?
I would.
One thing is, Jalen, this happened while we were off the air, but it needs to be addressed. You know Jose Calderon playing for the Cavs. Do you know what number he's going to wear this year?
81.
Why do you think he did that?
I don't know. Maybe he's sentimental to him.
Maybe he was born in 81? Or maybe he's just a big fan of story time with Jalen Rose. So now that we've sort of encapsulated the changes that have happened in Los Angeles with the Clippers, where do you think they end up? Like, let's talk about playoff seeding. What do you think their realistic expectations for this team are coming into this season?
7th seed in the West.
Oh no, Jalen. I'm not. I think they end up just like they did last year, 5, or like they were 4 last year. They lost Game 7, but they hosted. I'm gonna say that they're like a 5 or 6 seed. I like this Clippers team. I really do.
Between 5 and 7, that's only 1 or 2 games either way.
But I'm excited for this season because they did something. If they would have brought back CP3 and Blake and DeAndre and did the same old, wouldn't be that excited. I'm excited to see the changes here in Los Angeles. Make sure you hit us up on our 1-800-FLOWERS Twitter feed. You can also hit us up on our voicemail. If you call 985-80-JALEN, you can leave us a voicemail. We'll play it on the show just like this.
What up, though? Jalen and Jacoby. I got a question for each of y'all. Hey, David. I haven't heard you talk about running anymore. I don't know what's going on. Did you give up? Did you retire without filling out your paperwork? But I'm trying to get fit, get a little bit older, trying to stay in shape. I don't know if you can give me any tips as far as picking up my stamina, any supplements you might take, just any little pointers you can give me. And Jalen, since I'm watching what I eat, can't drink the 40s anymore. Can't down the Old English anymore. So starting to get into the wine. So if you can give me any good recommendation on the wine, you know, I don't have a Jalen money. I don't even have a Jacoby money. So if maybe you can give me a tip, maybe a bottle. It's not that expensive. Something that I can buy myself every once in a while. Treat myself. So hit me back, guys.
Thanks so much for the call. We'll start with the fun stuff. Jalen Rose, what sort of wine should he be drinking?
Red wine, no question about it. Cabernet is what I prefer. If that's not available, I do Merlot. Pinot makes me sleepy.
Usually when I drink red wine, that's the point, though. You know, I'm not a big red wine drinker, but usually it's before bed or on an airplane. Those are my two favorite red wine times.
I have the ultimate dietary tips. We need to do this list on our program.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the handful of things right now. If you're listening to this program, free advice. I know you watch all type of infomercials on television. There's all type of literature on what you can do to lose weight, all type of supplements and pills. I'm going to give you a handful of things to do to lose weight. Do we have time for that in this segment?
Sure, go for it. But let me just start by saying this is I've tried these. Basically, you're just a professional athlete. That's what I'm going with. But continue. You've got a freakish body and a freakish metabolism. So these things work for you, but they don't work the same, man. Look at my stomach.
I'm telling you what to do, okay? Everybody get a pen and paper. Gather around, boys and girls, like I'm Slick Rick and I'm telling a story. Okay, by the campfire. Get a blanket. And this is for those that are 21 and over. First and foremost, you got to give up the alcohol. I know.
What?
The vodka, the Grey Goose, the beer. Got to give it up.
I'm not checking out of this diet plan.
We're going to start right there.
I'm checking out of this diet plan already.
Now, however, there are other things you can do as an adult, like engage in red wine.
That's alcohol.
I'm telling you a dietary tip. There are places that you go that sell beer and wine that don't sell alcohol, correct?
Yes.
Okay, listen to the dietary tip. Trust me. This is my Tom Brady diet.
Red wine. Okay.
Red wine. I'm telling you. The next thing, you got to give up the fried food. Must give up the fried food. I know you want those French fries. I know you want those chicken tenders. I know you like that fried chicken. Reggie Noble on the board. You know, he really did the chicken thing 3 times. That was cultural.
Yep.
The next thing, and I know this is going to kill a lot of people, no bread.
That's the thing. Just cut down on carbs and skip dessert. That's all I can say about it.
No bread.
Cut down on carbs and skip dessert and you're good money.
When you have your little sandwiches, you can use lettuce. No bread.
Oh, see,
Here's
I
another
can't
one.
rock with this at all. I'm going to have a burger and beer in between the breaks.
Yep.
Limit the beef and the pork. There's turkey. There's seafood, crab, lobster, sea bass. So many options out there. Tuna. So many alternatives. And here's 2 of the more important things.
We got 2 more?
Yeah. You got to sweat at least 4 times a week. Pick those knees up. On the treadmill, walk really fast, use the incline. And then every now and then, just turn it up real high and sprint for 30 seconds. And then sprint for a minute. You got to lift them knees up. I don't mean sweat like an executive workout. I mean literally sweat. And the final thing you have to do.
Thank God.
You got to eat half of what you're eating right now.
Oh, see, I'm not rocking with any of this. I'm not rocking with any of this. No.
I'm talking about portion control.
Okay.
When you sit down and instead of eating 2 sandwiches, eat 1. If you like to eat whatever it is, eat half of that. And eat 4 times a day, every 4 hours.
what percentage of your dietary tips do you follow in your everyday life?
100%. This
Okay.
is why.
Okay.
This
Let's
is
move
why
on to the next call.
in August. This is why in August of 2011, I got on a scale and I was 270 pounds. And it looked like I was pregnant on both sides. Now, when I got on the scale today, 222.
I miss
don't
Fat
kill
Jalen.
myself.
I miss Fat Jalen.
Do I kill myself working out, David?
No, you barely work out 2 or 3 times a week. Let me tell you something. I know you don't work out 4 times a week. I know you haven't cut out all alcohol from your system except for red wine. I know you still eat pork, and I know you still eat bread.
That's after I lost the weight.
Oh, okay. So that's the last tip is once you've lost the weight, just go back to your old habits. Let's listen to another voicemail.
Hey, what's going on, man? This your man, Aloysius Jones. First and foremost, I'd like to send a special shout out to Jacoby. And now we're going to get into it. The Indiana Pacers, the sneak team of the year, man. I'm messing with Miles Turner. I'm down with Victor Oladipo, Thad Young, and the rest of the crew. And don't forget my man, Born Ready. Hey, man, it's really going down. You know what I'm talking about? Indiana, church.
Thank you much for the call, Aloysius. Mr. Jones.
Shout out.
I'm not sure that the Pacers are going to be the sleeper team in the NBA this year, but I am sure that Born Ready is ready to lead them into at least the number 1 seed. At least the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, right? What do you think about Aloysius' sleeper team in the NBA, Jalen?
Well, I have an Indiana Pacer banner on my forehead.
Okay.
I have a Larry Bird tattoo on the small of my back.
Shout out.
So, you're asking the wrong guy.
You know Larry Bird retired 25 years ago today.
Legend!
Yeah.
So, I'll say this. North, South, East, West, Deep South, Midwest. I appreciate lingo from certain regions, all regions, and the way they articulate themselves and through his voice. I loved his voice.
Aloysius Jones?
No question about it. But the East is wide open. Like, I couldn't tell you anything that's going to happen between 5 and 14. Like,
Lance
seriously.
Stevenson could legitimately be an all-star. I'm not kidding about that. With the team that he has around him, someone's got to score the basketball. And you know I love Lance. What? He actually probably couldn't be an all-star. Let's listen to another voicemail.
What up, Jalen and Jacoby? This is Guy in Minneapolis here. Obviously, the Timberwolves have made some big moves on the court, getting Jimmy G Braids now on our squad, along with others like Crawford, T, and Gibson. But what's been flying under the radar is the $155 million renovations to the Target Center that are finishing, where there will be a statue of George Mikan in the atrium. So my question is, for the leading statue analyst, Jim Rose, what are your thoughts on a George Mikan statue? And then, do you think we'll ever see a KG statue here in Minneapolis? Keep giving the people what they want. Shout out, Reg.
Shout out.
Great question. Great call. Loved it until Reggie got a shout out. So there's a couple things. Number 1, George Mikan statue inside the atrium. Is that a downgrade from outside, or is it just so cold in Minnesota that you want to be inside?
Let me make this clear. When the statue is on the inside, that's JV.
Oh, it's so cold out there, though.
It's almost like the Clippers play in the Lakers building.
Okay.
The statue must be outdoors. We talked about this with the WWF before.
And let me just say one thing about George Mikan. If he didn't make up that drill, I probably wouldn't even know who he was. You know, every the Mikan drill, George Mikan made up one drill, and then it's eclipsed his entire basketball career, that one drill. But continue.
And by the way, you try to shoot that little hook, now it's getting blocked out of bounds. I'm just saying.
That's not true. It's a great drill. Great warm-up. I like to see the ball go through the hoop a lot.
The key word is what you just say? Warm up.
Warm up.
Okay. When the last time you did that and run? I haven't seen you shoot it.
No.
Why? Because they get blocked out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. So this is what this caller made me think of, and I would love to do this on this program one day. This would be an awesome.
You can rap.
I'm going to acknowledge a few people that I think deserve statues that are currently in uniforms.
We got to make a list. We'll make a whole segment out of this.
LeBron.
Statue.
Wade.
Statue.
KG.
Statue.
Dirk.
Statue.
Vince Carter.
Where's the statue? Toronto?
Toronto.
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
How about this?
I don't know if you get longevity statues.
No, he's the greatest player in the franchise's history.
Everyone else you named had a championship, just so you know.
He's going to the Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm.
And Air Canada paved the way for the greatness that you now see of Canadian basketball. Steve Nash became a 2-time MVP after Wiggins.
Yep. Anthony Bennett, number
Tristan.
1 pick in the draft.
So don't sleep on the impact that Sergeant Vincent Lamar Carter had on the league in Toronto.
Jalen Rose, the Hall of Fame mogul, Urban Magic Johnson, is on his 18th day of vacation in the Mediterranean. He's on a yacht that the sticker price is $700,000 a week, Jalen. That's $100,000 a day. Now, some tells me that he gets a little Hall of Fame discount. You know, that's just what the yacht wants you to think it calls, so they could actually charge you $500,000. But Jalen Rose, 18 days. If it's $700,000 a week, we're already like nearing $2 million for a vacation. Soft move or boss move?
Is this a trick question?
It's just too much. It's too
Boss
much money.
move.
It's too much money.
Here's what you must remember. What did you call him to start this segment?
Urban Magic Johnson, the Hall of Fame mogul.
Correct.
Yeah.
By the way, Magic is probably the coldest nickname of all time.
It's a good nickname. Yeah. It is. It's also because it's not like related to. It's not like Michael Magic Malone. You know what I mean? It's not an iteration thing. He's just Magic.
I think that after everything he's accomplished as a player, and obviously as a successful businessman, a team owner, think about this. Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson both currently are working with baseball and NBA teams in a professional capacity, getting checks and pushing buttons. After all he's accomplished and endured, because he's had some turbulence along the way, we know about his contraction of the HIV virus and how a lot of people felt like that would signal the end to him at the point in time because we weren't as knowledgeable. I remember going to practice that day, tears in my eyes when he did the press conference, wrote Magic 32 on my shoes. So based on everything that my idol, along with Isaiah Thomas, has accomplished, I'm disappointed he's not spending more.
My thing is you and I complain a lot. You know, we complain and we drive the staff crazy. If I'm paying $100,000 a day to stay on your boat, I'm complaining all day. I'm asking for everything. Give me a green juice smoothie. I want these exact ingredients. I want this many ounces. I want it at this temperature. I want it at this time. I'm asking for just to get my $100,000 worth.
Hit the brakes.
I'm playing with every toy on the boat. I'm doing everything.
You said you wanted this many ounces?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's move on.
That's a failed drug test.
Derek Jeter is a dad, Jalen. Derek Jeter is a dad, has a child. Bella Rain Jeter has now entered the world. As somebody who has 2 daughters, I have 2 daughters myself. You have 2 daughters. What advice do you have for Mr. Jeter?
It's a beautiful thing. Congratulations. I can't wait to see his nephew named Jalen eventually wear his jersey in pinstripes. Fellow Michigander, doing a terrific job, obviously, with the Players Tribune. Also, as I mentioned, with Michael Jordan, now owner of the Florida Marlins, Miami Marlins. Speaking of that team, Giancarlo Stanton, he ain't playing around.
Yeah. I don't know if he's going to play for the Marlins next year, but he's not playing around.
So with that being said, though, my advice, where do I start? Here's the advice. The guys. Oh, what do the dads normally stay in situations like this? I don't want to
You're really having trouble with this,
violence.
Jalen. You're really having trouble with this.
Yes. Hey, man. Let me tell you something. the young men nowadays, as a dad, you look at situations a lot different than you did clearly when you were a kid. You remember back in the day when it was about holding the door and being a gentleman and meeting the parents and
old man Jalen.
Now just slide in the DMs.
Slide in the DMs. Don't have to hold the door.
Right. No, please. No, thank you.
Send nudes, please.
Right. Oh boy.
Shout out.
That's my advice. Oh boy. Like Cameron.
Good. Well, congratulations to the Jeter family. There's a teacher. You know, everyone's going back to school.
KRS-One?
Nope. Just actual teachers. Everyone's going back to school. It's that time of year. Back to school time. Got their new outfits and haircuts and backpacks, and they go off to school. New grades, new teachers. And one teacher handed out just sort of a pamphlet, sort of propaganda around the class that essentially broke down to this. Do not be like Kevin Durant, who left the Oklahoma City Thunder. Be like Michael Jordan. And if you read the fine print, his first credits Michael Jordan was saving the Looney Tunes from indentured servitude to an alien species. KD responded with, whoever did this should be fired and thrown in jail. What do you think about this teacher?
Is this a teacher from Oklahoma City?
I don't know. I didn't get the location. You know how I feel about follow-up questions.
I think I'll quote the great American philosopher David Jacoby. You can be mean if you're funny.
Not that funny. That was my problem.
It's just not funny.
And it seemed like he put a lot of work into it, too. Like, there was a Photoshop on there. There's a paragraph for each of them. It just seemed like he was just trying a little too hard. I'm out on that one. Bowling Green football coach Jinx challenged their kicker, Jake Sutter, sorry if I said your name wrong, Jake, to a 53-yard field goal. If he misses, nothing changes. If he makes it, he gets a scholarship. What? He kicked the field goal. And before I tell you whether or not he made it, Jalen, my question for you is that fair?
It's 1,000% fair.
Oh, I don't think so. Don't make me work for it. Either give me the scholarship or don't. Don't make me kick a 53-yard field goal for it. Come on, coach.
Can I say this?
Yeah.
I appreciate seeing people who are underdogs or walk-ons get scholarships and be rewarded.
Of course.
But I'm tired of these programs and coaches trying to do it for the cameras.
Mm-hmm.
Like, seriously, like, don't in the middle of the tackling drill, we're going to stop it and pull out the paper.
Yeah, and then, of course, after this, he was like, well, you know, he was on the short list, and we decided right there in the moment. It wasn't planned, he said. Like, they came out, the communications person was like, this was not planned. This was spur of the moment, whatever. Well,
let me tell you what was planned.
They sure had a really good angle of it.
When you forwarded the email and you printed out an attachment.
Yeah. Well, he hit the field goal. And guess what? The whole team got excited and jumped around on him. But you know what? Here's what I need to know. If he missed that field goal, you got to give him the scholarship anyway. You got to. You got to give him the scholarship anyway. You cannot put that kind of pressure on a young man. That's a $40,000 kick.
More than that.
What's the longest field goal you think you could make, Jalen Rose? Right now, without warming up anything, we're on a football field. What's the longest field goal you think you can make? You get 3 tries. I'm going to go 3 tries.
20.
Oh, I could go longer than that. 20's from the 10-yard line, Jalen.
All right, well, from the 20, 30.
30-yard field goal from the that's tough. I don't know if I could. I don't know. I think that's a good number though. That's just about the right distance.
I just need more orthotics.
My orthotics. Jalen doesn't do anything without his orthotics.
I stub my big toe.
Do you know what IKEA is? You never know with you.
Of course I know. IKEA the store?
Yeah, IKEA the store. What do they sell there?
Electronics.
Exactly. So IKEA the electronics store is holding an all-you-can-eat crawfish party. Or crayfish. It says crayfish on my paper, but I think it's crawfish. Would you pay $20 for all-you-can-eat seafood from an electronics store named IKEA?
I think we've had this conversation before, but I'm going to go here again. And I don't know if this is old man Jalen or spoiled Jalen, but do-rag Jalen don't love buffets.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't want all-you-can-eat anything. I don't want, I've never had a meal and been like, oh, man, I just wish I had 3 times more food. I just really wish I could just stuff myself until I'm so full. Usually when I eat, I have an entree, a couple sides, maybe an appetizer. I'm pretty good. I'll keep moving. I don't need all you can eat. I don't like the idea that that whoever's cooking this is cooking an endless supply of it for whoever. I want someone to cook something just for me. And by the way, Jalen Rose, IKEA, they sell furniture.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
Jalen Rose.
Yes, sir.
As we get close to football season, there's a lot of stories out there in the world. And one thing that we like to do is we like to filter through what's worth talking about, what's not worth talking about with a segment called Keep It Moving.
We be moving, you know we keep it moving.
If it's not worth talking about, we keep it moving with Method Man. If it is worth talking about, we pump the brakes. Are you ready to go?
Let's get it.
Blake Bortles has been put on alert. The Jaguars coach says the starting job is up for grabs in Jacksonville.
Hit the brake.
He finished 6 of 10 for 44 yards. But here's one of the tricks about this, Jalen Rose. Because of his contract, he's got a $19 million salary in 2018 that will be guaranteed if he is not injured.
What?
In other words, every time that they put Bortles out there, they're risking putting themselves on the hook for a $19 million salary next year.
That's a lot of money.
We saw the Buffalo Bills last season make a business decision not to play Tyrod Taylor the final game of the year for that exact reason.
So if he gets hurt, if Bortles gets hurt, and he is not able to perform next year, he still gets his $19 million.
Here's what I have to say about that situation.
Henny season.
If you follow the NFL remotely, if you've ever heard of the 3 words put together in a sentence, and you needed the start of this training camp in preseason to know that Blake Bortles was on the hot seat.
One of the things that bothers me about fantasy football, it's like, well, actually, Blake Bortles is a good fantasy quarterback. It's like, that's why I can't rock with you guys. That's why I never win my league, because I refuse to pick Blake Bortles and root for Blake Bortles every Sunday. I cannot do that. I just can't. They'll drive me crazy.
Well, whoever told you that is the reason why 3 or 4 weeks into your fantasy leagues, you always quit.
I always quit.
Such a quitter.
Next piece of news, we have the Patriots fear defensive end Derek Rivers is out for the season with a bad knee injury. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
That stinks. Keep it moving.
Cam Newton is a little rusty still and probably will not play this Saturday. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
Newton threw about 10 live throws during joint workouts with the Titans on Thursday and then headed off to the side for conditioning. As a result, Ron Rivera says that he will likely not play in the second preseason game on Saturday.
Didn't he have off-season shoulder surgery?
Yes, he did, sir.
And what position does he play again?
Quarterback.
So, do I need the news to tell me that he's a little rusty?
Well, he might not play. I think he was hoping to be fully on track for training camp, and the timing of the surgery was such that he was supposed to be sort of ready to go this year, but it certainly doesn't seem like it right now.
How can he be ready to go? How many times did you say he's thrown a football again?
10.
Okay. I'm more ready than he is.
Do you have a tight spiral, Jalen? I've never seen you throw a football.
Actually, it's unorthodox, but I can throw.
Yeah, you got an unorthodox release? You got that Tim Tebow?
No, I got the way I throw a football looks like I'm gonna give you like Tim Tebow.
Like, there you go. I love how I said Tim Tebow. You're like, nah, and then you're like just like Tim Tebow. You are the most unorthodox.
I'll show you how much I don't listen to you.
You are the most unorthodox bowler I have ever seen in my life. The way you bowl is fascinating to me. Next, we have this. Joe Flacco will not return to practice next week. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Hit the brakes.
Coach John Harbaugh said after the Ravens' 31-7 victory over the Dolphins on Thursday night that the team is sticking to the timeline for the quarterback's return from a back injury that does not have him practicing this week.
I want to quote the great American philosopher MC Search.
Shout out.
Get the gas face.
Black hat is bad luck. Bad guys wear black. Must have been a white guy who started all that.
Okay.
So you mean to tell me the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Baltimore Ravens both need quarterbacks?
Mm-hmm. Dolphins need a quarterback too.
John Harbaugh happens to have a brother named
James.
And he coached in the NFL where?
San Francisco.
And they went to the Super Bowl in a couple of NFC Championship games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who was the quarterback of that team?
Colin Kaepernick.
I would love on this show for us to run the credits like at the end of a scary movie. All of the quarterbacks that are getting checks from the National Football League that we know, and we're not talent evaluators, he's better than. It's just become a mockery at this point.
Why do you think they only run credits at the end of scary movies? You know they run credits at the end of all the movies, right?
The reason why I say always use the scary movie analogy, because I'm just horrified by this story.
You just want the scary movie music to be behind it, right?
Yeah. That's Twilight Zone.
I understand.
Can we do that? Can we do that, Harlan, John Lawrence, Reg, Carlos, Baron, Alex, Rochelle? Did I forget anybody?
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers offensive line gave a $26,000 dinner bill to rookies as a joke.
Hit the brakes.
Okay. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers continue the tradition of their annual rookie dinners Wednesday night in Jacksonville, Florida. For the Bucs offensive line, that means hitting up Ruth Chris Steakhouse is the report. So I've been to Ruth Chris before. There's one in New York, kind of by one where a couple of my friends work. I don't know how you run up $26,000 there. You better have a lot of people and a lot of beverages.
You run up the bill easy by drinks.
Drinks. It's always drinks.
It's always the drinks. The food is worth 15% of the bill. The rest is drinks.
That's usually what it is.
And the thing is, it's almost like when you take people to dinner, family and friends come to mind, and they're ordering things they wouldn't order if they were paying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, you getting a salad now? Oh, you getting an appetizer now? Want dessert? Couple of entrees? Oh, you want to order something to go? Okay, got it. Okay.
Rob Gronkowski has a legendary story about Tom Brady. Keep moving or hit the brakes.
Keep it moving.
You know what? I'm going to hit the brakes on this just because I want to tell the story, and I want just to realize that Rob Gronkowski has no idea what legendary means. This is Rob Gronkowski. Quote, I'll give you a legendary story. This happened the first day at camp. He was in special teams meeting, and he isn't on special teams, paying full attention and writing notes down. There you go. That just shows how hard the guy works. He's in a special teams meeting, too. That's not legendary. That's not legendary at all. No. That's not legendary at all. And the thing is he's just like NBA players are always posting to Instagram, videos of their workouts. Tom Brady's probably just in that meeting so someone could tell that story later in life.
All that is fake hustle.
That's fake hustle. That's right. That is fake hustle, Tom Brady. That's inefficient use of your time, Tom Brady. You think you're working so hard going to special teams meetings so you know how to cover a punt? Guess what you should be doing? Studying your quarterback duties.
How about this? If you want to truly acknowledge what I just said and you just said, which is so accurate. By the way, those stories work better before social media because it was urban legend.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we got social media, I got some footage for you. Pull up Tom Brady's draft video. Imagine him running 50 yards full speed to cover a punt or a kickoff. Good luck with that.
The whistle would blow before he got past the line of scrimmage. Drew Brees says the Chargers move, quote, didn't have to happen. Keep it moving or hit the brakes.
Keep it moving.
You just got confused for a second. You're like, hit the brakes. I want to discuss what Drew Brees thinks about the move to Los Angeles. You know that Philip Rivers still lives in San Diego, commutes? He's got a mobile quarterback cage where he reviews film and stuff while he's on his way to practice.
Just look at it like this. Anybody that lives near New York City, that hour and a half commute from San Diego to L.A. is nothing. How about so many people that live near New York City and commute every morning? Not a big deal.
Let me tell you what this thing really is about. Philip Rivers has 7 kids. And he knows that if he spends 4 hours commuting every day, that's 4 hours he doesn't have to parent his kids. I know how this works.
There you go.
I know how this works. Trust me. I know that trick too. And I hope my wife is not listening to this segment. When we do this show, we have one simple motto. First question is from James. Is Jalen missing out on some benefits by never formally retiring from the NBA? You got to get some kind of benefits for retiring. Great question from James. Great question from James there.
Still get all my benefits, fiscally, insurance, when video games are sold, get royalties, when jerseys are sold. Just got a little check the other day. I'm like, good looking.
Really? So what happens? They just send you an actual physical check. You just go to your check, and there's an envelope with the NBA logo on it, and they say, here's 17 cents for your jersey sales?
Never. No, that's what. Those are the checks I get from SAG after.
Oh, okay. We re-aired a Locks video from 1998.
Like last week tonight, 5 cents. Barbershop, 89 cents.
Yeah.
You know, I got a lot of them, actually. It's funny.
Good for you.
But the royalties thing, it really doesn't cater or affect me actually filling out retirement paperwork. All that is a formality that makes it closer. It starts your 5-year cycle to the Hall of Fame. And since I ain't going anyway, it don't matter.
You're already in the Hall of Fame, Jalen.
I'm already in the Hall of Fame. Detroit and Michigan.
Detroit and Michigan Hall of Fame. Why do you need to be in the National Basketball Association Hall of Fame?
Correct. I'm good. Thank you, David Jacoby.
Michigan
Thank you
Hall
to
of
the
Fame
show.
is much more
If it
exclusive.
wasn't for David Jacoby, I would not be in the Hall of Fame.
They forgot about you. That's what it was. It's not that you don't deserve. They just forgot about you. That's what it was. They're like, he's from Detroit, right?
He is from here.
Oh, wait, he played in Michigan? Oh, okay.
That's right. Oh, that school is? Oh, that's
yeah. Oh, there's so many Jalen's now that they forget.
You know what I got to do? I got to do some research on who got keys to the city now.
Oh, there's some weird ones out there. I think Marion Barry got keys to Detroit. I remember we've looked this up before. There's a couple. Saddam Hussein, I think. I'll forget. We'll look it up. But I really think Saddam Hussein has keys to Detroit, and you can't get keys. You got a school. You're affecting so many families, 400 families. You're helping out in the city. What's Saddam Hussein ever do for Detroit? I don't see him in Detroit. I see him in Detroit at least, 20 times a year? Saddam Hussein not rolling through the D. Next, we had this from Han Solo Dolo. Jalen has no idea who that is. I want a story time with Jalen that won't get him fired about hanging with Tupac. There has to be one he can share. Give the people what they want. Do you ever hang with Tupac?
Multiple times.
Oh, what was that like?
So, different stages.
Okay.
So, there was the stage where early 90s KMEL Summer Jam. Fortunate enough to be on the West Coast. Big shout to my family, Digital Underground, Money B, Klee, Shock G.
Shout out.
Too Short in the Cadillac Club. What Up Doe P.O. Spice One, G Nut.
There's too many shout outs.
I'm just saying, we went there, so we going all the way there.
Okay.
I'm telling you guys about the birth of the relationship between Detroit and Oakland's kinship.
Shout to G Nut.
Shout out.
You seen Hammer do They Put Me in the Mix video in Joe Louis Arena, and the Pistons adopted the slogan, "You can't touch this."
Mm-hmm.
Don't be surprised when you see E40 and Big Sean on Wax together. All right? So with that being said, spending time with Digital Underground.
And G Nut.
Shout out.
And that's why I told you about the song What's Up With the Love, the unreleased record. I remember being in the studio hearing that song, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be a #1 record. It never got released. And so at that point of Pac's career, you probably don't realize that he initially was paying his dues. He was dancing. He was running errands. He was doing what he had to do to get on, to earn his cred, to earn his stripes. He was sleeping on the floor just like everybody else. And so his breakthrough, Clown Around When I Hang Around with the Underground, when they popped him out there on same song. Then he took off. Fast forward, getting a chance to see him and spend time with him in L.A. But those that don't know, my godfather is just that, along with Jimmy Iovine of Interscope Records. So being able to spend time around members of Death Row, members of that label, and Tupac's first solo album. I remember the white tape, listening to Death Around the Corner, and a few songs that initially, when his first album came out, his first album on Interscope. Yeah, that was Me Against the World, which was his third overall album. I remember thinking, like, where's all these other songs that was on my white tape? So from the time Me Against the World came out to the time Thug Life album came out, which is probably a couple of years later, I had exclusive Tupac songs. Held on to the white tape. Pac was a good dude, a funny dude, a charismatic dude. He had personality, he had flavor. He was a great MC. He had an infectious smile. An all-time great MC. Ain't that right, David Jacoby?
Let's move on. We have one final question from James Benitez. What's your favorite fairy tale? Mine is Beauty and the Beast. What's your favorite story? I love this question.
You ready for mine?
What's yours?
It was told by Todd Shaw. That's my favorite. It's called Freaky Tales.
Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. We have a little bit of a programming alert here, Mr. Rose. We're off next week.
Thank you.
We didn't take a week off, or Jalen took a couple, but I didn't take any time off, so we're taking the week of the 21st off.
Thank you.
There will be no podcast. There will be no television. But when we come back,
we'll be back.
We will bring the force and the energy of two well-rested old men that have been chilling for an entire week. We hate not leaving you with a dope pod to step to, but unfortunately, that's what we have to do. If you go to JRLA.gesture.com, you right now, you don't have to go to Detroit and be part of the golf event. You right now in your home, no matter where you are in the world, especially our Australian listeners, love our Australian listeners, you can go to JRLA.com, JRLA.gesture.com and vote on some great sports memorabilia and some experiences. You can join us right here in the studio.
I have to say this for our fine listeners. You might have to spell gesture for them.
I know. Gesture. T-U-R-E. I saw that. When I said that the first time, I was like, I'm not sure I would know how to spell gesture. So it's JRLA.gesture, GESTURE.com, C-O-M.